Hey guys, it's Trisha. I'm here to do I'm gonna do a couple of videos tonight. So the first one is because I have finished one of my work medallions. So actually it's the second one I finished out of this pack. So let me quickly show you the finished product of the first one from this 4-pack that I did. So that one's pretty. You know, these mandalas are not, they're not pricey. They're small, so they're nice for work. They're kind of, they're not the best rendition, conversion, but they're a good work project. Just something when I need a little bit of diamond painting to calm my mind. This is what I work on. Sometimes I cross stitch, but there's days where I just don't feel like cross stitching. So now this one was finished a while back. So since I was keeping all 4 of them at work, I was just keeping the drills there. So I've already dekitted this one. This was when I thought I wanted to label everything, and I've since decided that I don't really need to. So this was already dekitted, and here is the finished one. What I think I'm gonna do is, I already put these in a portfolio, but I usually just kind of slide them in as is. I really do like the idea that Rebecca has, and will probably have to order some stuff from the UK, because since these are done in, well, I'll try US stuff first. If I can make it work with US versions of the portfolio and card that she mounts them to, I will. If not, I will just place an order from the UK and be patient till it gets here. But so for right now, they just go into portfolio. But eventually, I do like the idea of these small ones that really I don't have a plan for. She cuts them right up against where the diamonds are, mounts them on black cardstock that is the same size as the portfolio, which in the UK it seems to be pretty pretty easy, because you get an A4 portfolio, you get a A4 cardstock, and you're set. Here it might be a little bit more difficult. But so there's the first one. To the side, and here's the one that I finished today. Ooh, okay, there we go. Wow, the camera just did the weird thing. Alright, in the viewfinder you can kind of see what the original mandala must have looked like. Naked eye, it doesn't quite come across, but in the viewfinder it does actually quite do well. I finished this today because I started working on the border part, and it's a lot of the same 2 colors of dark blue, and I left the center part for the last, and I was so excited with all that pink in the center that I finished it today. So here we go. This whole pack is round diamonds, round drills. So, and I got, if you recall, I got these from Amazon. If I remember, I'll link the listing for these in case you're interested. But look how sparkly. This one, I was hoping it would turn out. Again, in the viewfinder, it's actually quite stunning. Naked eye, not so much. So I may have to just pin it to the wall and see what it looks like at normal picture viewing distance, and just see Okay, so this is one that I'm going to be dekitting today. And then I will do another video to kit up the other two mandalas in that pack, so they're ready for me to work on at work. Okay, so today this is that mandala I will dekit, and I also found I did a little project. You know, I did some diamond painting, just a few projects between when I wasn't filming these videos, so I may have to give you an update on those at the end of this. But this is the leftovers from that little kit, so we're gonna dekit that one as well. So let's just get started. And so I said I would just keep them in a box until I can get around to figuring out how to incorporate them into the main spare storage. Alright, so we are going to pull out my little bags and just jump in to this. And where is my tweezers that I was using? Here they are. Okay. And the green boat would be helpful to stick over there for these little guys. So since we more or less went over, you know, what I'm doing and how I'm doing, let's see what else I can find to talk about. Oh, you'll see it when I do the next dekitting of something with DMC numbers. I got some labels for I got round labels. They came in yesterday, and I got some permanent rectangle ones, and those will be coming in this next week sometime. But the only way I could get them was on a sheet instead of in these little packages, because apparently Avery doesn't make this style in permanent. So I had to go with the big printer sheet kind, and since it was a printer sheet kind, I just went ahead and made the document with, you know, input all the DMC numbers into the document that I could download for it, and I'll just print off all of the labels. So last night I was sitting there inputting all the numbers for the round drills and the round labels. I downloaded the document for the rectangle ones. It's not a Avery label, because I couldn't find Avery labels in sheet in that size, so I went with an off-brand called, I think it's like Garage Sale Pup or something like that. Where was I gonna stick this? Oh, I know. I have some gently used Post-it notes that I can use just to stick stuff to. So I started putting the numbers in, but it's not as well of a designed template as Avery provides. So I don't want to do any more than just that first line until I get the labels and I can check their alignment. because if I have to futz with alignment, I mean, if I can make the adjustments using like margins and stuff, then no biggie. But if I have to adjust and how I input the numbers into the spaces, I don't want to do all 440 some numbers and then have to go back and redo them. So I stopped there. So when I get that package next week, it's supposed to come on Wednesday. So I think I might print out the round ones tonight. I was just kind of tired last night when I got done. So, and it occurred to me, it'd be cool by using, okay, so my plan is I have all the numbers on these labels. Labels are on the sheets. I can use those sheets as kind of a tracker. A tracker of what numbers do I already have. So that'll be at a quick glance. If I look at the sheet of labels and the number is still there, then that means I don't have that that color yet. But if the number is not there, that means it's been put on a baggie and put into the storage. So I was thinking if I wanted to create some sort of inventory to keep track of what I have in square and what I have in round, but I can use those label sheets as a kind of a negative space tracker. So I think that's pretty cool. A nice little side benefit of doing the sheet labels. Okay, and you guys can see just how easy these removable Avery labels come off of these little plastic containers. So I was telling you guys in a previous video about these containers, how they are my favorite. And so one of the reasons is because of its size. These little green boats work just fine. I very rarely spill any diamonds as I'm pouring them back into these containers, even with those green boats. You know, and I guess I'm kind of weird. I actually I might actually prefer. I haven't used any of the fancy pens that I've purchased recently. I love this. Look at this pink. Love it. But I haven't actually used any of them because I do so well with the little pink pens that come in the kits. So one of these days I will grab, I think maybe when I do the advent calendar, I can grab that pen and give it a whirl. We'll see. We'll see how that goes. Yeah, I think that once I get my color card done, I'm going to enjoy going through these and matching these up and getting them integrated into the main storage, because that kind of thing is just right up my alley. So, how was your guys' week? I'd like to hear, if you want to share in the comments. My week was okay. It was kind of rough in a sense. The program that I'm in charge of, well, okay, so there's a program as in an overall program where I keep track of, not a software program, but, devices that I keep track of and the software that's on them, making sure it does what it's supposed to. And then I have, okay, back up just a little bit. I manage ruggedized laptops that are manufactured by a brand called GTAC, and their purpose is to display the technical data that the maintainers need in order to do the maintenance on the F-16s. So this week I had not all, but most of the GTACs live in cabinets they're cool. They have the drawers, that the laptops live in, and there's connection. There's an internet connection and a power connection in the drawer. So it's pretty cool. They're not the best design, but they do their job well enough. Well, something happened to the switch that lives in the bottom of that cabinet. There's no way for me to know how it happened. I don't know if it was a power outage or if somebody in the comm squadron had tried to do maintenance on it and either didn't know that it was in a switch that was in one of the cabinets for my GTACs or what, but this 20 bank cabinet, you could log into the network. I could remote into a GTAC in the cabinet from my office. So I knew it had a network path, but we couldn't get them to sync their technical data. So the technical data is in PDFs, and there's a whole system that keeps track of if they have the most updated one and did the device sync when it synced, so there's a whole program that I load onto each one of these GTACs that performs that function. It communicates with its master server that is housed in my office to get any updates. Well, the sync wasn't working. They just refused to sync. So after a couple days of troubleshooting to, first of all, make sure it's not something wrong with my masters. Okay, so this program it's funny in a way. They refer to the servers as masters. Oops. Maybe I should be doing this over a tray. They refer to the GTACs as slaves. So I've talked to the guys up at the headquarters a couple of times, and the one time I was talking to them, I told them, hey, you guys, maybe you should change it to something like you know, sensei and Padawan or something like that. So, anyways, make sure the masters, there's nothing wrong with them. Because, well, every once in a while, the Air Force will push out a patch to all the computers that changes something that messes up how the masters communicate with the slaves. And usually that can be fixed by just running a GP update. So I do that. I also, you know, just for something to chat about, I'll tell you, you know, troubleshooting, you know, processes. So I grab another G-Tac that I keep just outside. I have a cabinet just outside my office that I keep some G-Tacs in for TDY purposes. So I grab one of those that I have a sheet that tells me what. I have 4 masters, so I have a sheet that I keep track of what master server each G-Tac is pointed to. And that comes in handy quite often. So I grab one that I know is pointed to the same server, and it syncs up just fine. So that tells me it's either a problem with the switch or the port that the switch is plugged into in our problem cabinet. So I ran that information to the person that could help me with it, and he got back to me today and let me know that the switch, something was off with the switch. There were settings that shouldn't be there and settings that should be that weren't. So he made all the necessary changes, and voila, I remoted it into one of the G-Tacs in that cabinet, and it synced perfect. So, you know, that was one headache this week. The other one was, well, the network's been super slow. And I have to tell people, well, yeah, we work at a base that's in the ass end of the United States. And now, you know, everything's going to the cloud. So any online storage, that signal has to travel off base to wherever this big old server farm is, and then back to you. So if something's wrong with one or more of the pathways that signal travels once it's off base, you got way more traffic trying to go through less numbers of pathways. So occasionally we have that problem, and there's nothing we can do about it. So I think I am just going to not try and jam those into a smaller bag. We'll just go with a 3x4 and call it good. But there's pretty colors. Some of these Mandalas have such pretty colors. It would be nice if they came with DMC numbers, but oh well. I will manage. And well, I haven't been sleeping well this week. I mean, you know, my sleep is rarely exactly restful, but this week has been even worse. So I've been tired and cranky, and stuff just wasn't working this week. But thankfully, at least a few of the problems got fixed. So, something that I don't have to worry about this weekend. Alright, so that one is dekitted. This will be filled up in the next video. So let's quickly do this little guy. So again, I don't have a storage setup for the rhinestones yet, but I do, you know, I do kind of like, wow, that's way more bags than I need. The way in which Rebecca at 4Kids at 147, I will link her channel again. You know, I think I might have to be linking her channel every time I do one of these, since I tend to use her style of storage for the most part. But okay, so she's recently shown how she's dealing with her rhinestones and special shapes, and I like how she does it. So once I get a storage, you know what, guys, I wonder how much I've been out of frame on this. I don't think I've, if I have, tell me. Because we messed with my camera mount, and I'm trying to change things so to work a little better. So my camera mount got moved. So I'm not exactly sure of its, you know, little box. I used to have painter's tape on the desk that was just out of view of, you know, so I knew exactly where it was, but it's been a long time since I've done top-down view videos, and that tape kind of went by the wayside. That one at some point along the way. So I will show you guys the project that this was to at the end. I'll stop my recording, go get it, and bring it in here to show you, because so pretty, so pretty. I really, really enjoyed it. And of course, I will see if I can find its listing and link it below in case you're interested. I waited for quite a while for this little guy. Because if I remember, well, I might have ordered it off of Amazon, but it was an Amazon by the way of China kind of thing. So definitely not Prime. It took about, well, I would say probably about 2 months to get to me. But that's okay. Now I'm in the habit of putting jar sheet in with each one because I live in the desert. we have an average of 10 to 12% humidity. Granted, there are some times of the year, some days where we might, if it rains, the humidity goes up, but other than that, it's bone dry. I've often wondered if I'm, you know, literally being desiccated while I'm still alive with just the sheer lack of humidity. And I grew up in Wisconsin. My body is used to humidity. So, yeah. Born and raised in Wisconsin. My first base was Florida. My second base was Korea. My third base was Southern Illinois. And my fourth base was Germany. So all humid places, and then they send us here to the desert. Yeah. So right now, we both, the Air Force refused to move us. We both retired from the Air Force while we were here. And then we lost our last move benefit because they changed the rules on us and didn't tell us. So, kind of we're looking ahead to when we were going to move out of here, but it's not going to be anytime soon. Logistically speaking, it's just not going to happen just yet. Now there's only a few of them, but you never know. Save everything, because they're tiny little white dots, and I think they served as the little white shiny part of an eye. Yep. So there we go. Okay, give me a moment. I need to get a drink. After you talk for so long. A little bit. So some pretty pink rhinestones that will get used for something else. Because in case you don't recall, pink is my favorite color. I used to, some years ago, I used to not like pink. But then once I was starting to look towards when I would retire from the military, and I was, thinking about what kind of person did I, what did I want to be like? What in my life did I want to change? And one of the things that was pretty exciting for me is the idea of being allowed to have a personality. So I forget what it was, what really, started it, but I started to just like the color pink, and then it grew on me. and now it is my favorite color. But it's got to be, it's not, don't particularly care for pink that leans purple. Not so big on it. I like true pink. I like, you know, brighter pink more than lighter pink. So this color right here is perfect. Let's pull this out of its little bag. See if it'll show you. Yep. Look at that, isn't that pretty? It's showing up lighter. See if I can get it. Okay, sorry guys. Figuring this out. Block some of the light. Yeah, I think that's better. Alright, so for these top-down view shots, videos, I actually have a LED strip that's mounted to the desk, the shelf above my desk, that I put there when I was doing paper crafting. So it serves a pretty good purpose for this, but it's not filtered. So I might have to fashion a bit of a light box for it. And see if I can figure that out. How to put that up there. Okay, these little black ones we might have to just do them like that instead. Because they weren't cooperating with the pour. Okay, so I kind of made a decision just now. Okay, because there's where the edge of the view is. I got about that much more left on the edge of the desk. And then past that, there's about this much of a card table, because the desktop sits on top of a card table. And I keep pulling stuff towards myself, so I might have to adjust this a little bit. Let me see if I can do it while we're here. Maybe. I had a tennis ball on the end of this board that this thing is connected to, because I kept hitting my head on it. But let's see if I can just slide it a little bit. How's that? That's nice, because that's literally, I only got about that much left of the table at that point, so that might work out better for me here. Ooh, yep, because now my natural, where I put my hands when I'm just kind of working, is more center, so that's good. Alright, so that's the last, I think. Ooh, no. It looks like there's a couple in here and a couple in there. Tiny. Oop. I don't know why I keep grabbing bags out of their bag, because I pulled way too many out. Alright, so just two more little pots of two little rhinestones. And again, when I process these might just end up going into white if they're the same size as normal drills. But these other ones aren't. These are the smaller, but not the teeny tiny, like that tiny one that you saw that I tried to show you. Where'd that go? Yeah. Okay, so You see how tiny those are? So these are slightly bigger, but not as big as normal drills. In white. So those will have to stay in the all others. Okay. Label off. And that's it for my dekitting for today. Let's figure out. I think these might fit in a. Nah. Nope. We'll just do a 3x4 again. Just for the sake of ease. Alright, so while I'm getting these together, I'm going to say thank you guys for joining me. For this dekitting. And now I'm going to go grab the project that these belong to and show you. So alright guys, so here it is. This super cute little flamingo project. It was cool. It came with its own frame. So super easy to FFO. And it's one of the ones that has the different sized rhinestones, but oh, how sparkly is it? So sparkly. I love this guy. He was super fun to do. Alright, so happy crafting everybody, and we'll catch you next time.